Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matthew Sutton, Sketchbooks on Instagram, and what I wanted to do today was just give you a quick rundown on some tools that I like to use, things that I think you need to sort of have in order to just be an artist that is on the go, just somebody who's going to be able to use their tools all the time and have access to the right things that you need in order to help you create. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a sketchbook. There are lots of different types. They make, white paper, toned paper. This one's a toned one. It's got kind of a tannish sort of color to it. But there are tons and tons of different sketchbooks out there. Find one that is comfortable for you. Maybe something that's not too huge that you can't maybe put it in a small, like a backpack, and take it with you. Or maybe you want a gigantic sketchbook, something that you can only use at home on the couch when you're chilling out or on your desk. The point is finding something that is comfortable for you, because a sketchbook's a real sort of personal thing. I don't think anybody can really tell you exactly which sketchbook is for you. You got to just kind of get out there and try them out. But yeah, definitely something you got to have. A comfortable pencil is another thing. I prefer mechanical pencils personally. There is no right or wrong again with pencils. There are tons and tons of options out there. You can get pencils that will sort of, at casual pressure, make a very, very light mark on the page. You can get some that do almost, pitch black no matter what pressure you're using, or very, very, very dense sort of leads, or graphites. There's lots of different types out there. The one that I like to use, it's an HB. And this is just a lead holder. This is just a mechanical pencil that, good old-fashioned, click the lead out. But that way I don't have to worry about running out of lead, and I think that is something that personally kind of gets on my nerves about some other pencils. Like regular pencils, they get shorter and shorter as you use them, and I don't really care for that. Now, that said, I do like to use the coal erase pencils. They are a colored sort of pencil. You can get them in all sorts of different colors. They do have an eraser on them, which is really cool. They don't function exactly like a normal colored pencil because you can erase these guys. If you put it down, put on a mark and it's not super dark, like if you don't press down very, very hard, you can erase them really easily. Just like using a regular number 2 pencil. They come in different colors. Like I said, these are two of the colors that I kind of keep with me at all times, the blue and the red. I find that you can use those two colors in almost, at least for what I do, almost any situation. They are very, very versatile tools. I mean, I even shade things with them sometimes, and not just, sketch and outline or something like that with it. Great, great tools to have. In the world of pencils still is the, I recommend getting a colored pencil of some sort. Now, this is a Prismacolor white pencil. They normally come in, a full size, but this one's seen some use. They are awesome, especially if you want to put just a little bit of highlight on something, or I guess you could put a lot if you felt like it, but these things really shine if you use them sparingly. Especially on something like a toned paper, like these sort of items kind of go together really well, like these two in particular. Toned paper and white pencil is it's just like a match made in heaven, because you get the darkness of the paper, and then you can go straight in with your white and pull some highlights out really easily. Also, something else that I really got to say you guys need to get is a good multiliner. There are tons and tons of different multiliners out there. This one is by Prismacolor, but don't focus too much on what brand that I'm using or whatever, because there are a lot of different pens out there, multiliners that you need to. I would recommend you explore through and kind of see what works for you the best, because it's kind of like a sketchbook. It's all these tools are kind of personal choices, and there is no really right or wrong choice, I guess, as far as what you find comfortable to use. It's all about what you like. Another item that I recommend you guys check out is this is the Signo White. It is by Uniball. It's a really thick sort of like gel pen, and what you can do with that is it's like the step up from a regular white pencil. Instead of just having like maybe a chalky sort of light sort of suggestive ability to put like just a little bit of pencil down, these things are like from 0 to like 100. It is just white on the page, just boom, instantly. These are awesome for things like something that really needs to draw attention on the page, especially if you're using something that is a page that is toned already, or you've done a lot of dark work on the paper. Something like this, I always use it on my sketches like Batman. I will save this white for things like his eyes, things that you really want to just light up on the page. It's really, really, really a good tool to check out. Again, on the same sort of note is a jelly roll pen. You can use these guys to, they come in lots of different colors, but you can use them to almost give a fluorescent look to whatever you fill in with them. Again, it's all about the contrast. You got to make sure that your page is actually, the artwork around it is fairly dark, but when you put this thing down, they don't tend to absorb into the paper. Like this one doesn't either. The Signo, I think, kind of dries on the surface, and the gel pen, the jelly roll pen also dries on the surface. So instead of getting, they don't really mute, they just stay nice and bright, which, you know, can be awesome if you play your cards right. You can do some really creepy sort of stuff with these. I like to use it again on eyes, like do something with a monster or some character that has to have really creepy eyes, and just fill them in right there with that. Now onto two of my favorite weapons in my favorite weapons of choice here in my arsenal are the Copic warm and cool gray sets. Now these come in, these markers are refillable for one thing, which is really, really, really awesome. You can actually take the nib out of either end. There's a chisel tip here, and you can open it up and you can refill the marker. On the other end is a more of a precise sort of pointed end, and they're fabulous. They are really, really, really amazing. They're oil-based markers, alcohol-based markers, and they do a fantastic job. If I had to pick two sort of sets of markers to take into a situation, I would definitely take these two. Warm and cool gray are the bee's knees. You can do a lot of stuff with them. Instead of having to spend tons and tons on buying the whole sets of Copic, because there's a lot of markers out there, and these guys aren't terribly cheap. But if you can put together a little bit of money and you can just afford a few, I would really recommend you check out the warm and cool grays, because they can give you a lot of options without having to cost necessarily a ton of money to buy like full sets of hundreds of markers or of colors and things like that. So another thing you can use if you are really on trying to stay on a budget, or just want to use some gray color without having to pay a whole lot for it, is the Crayola grays. Those things are really, really awesome. They're kind of one of my favorite little secret weapons. You can get some really nice gray sort of tones out of this thing without having to pay a ton for, you know, a marker, say like the Copics or something like that. Now these don't operate on quite the same level as these guys do here, the Copics, but it will give you something that you can use. You can get your feet wet with it. You can kind of test it out, see if you like using that sort of markers as an approach for shading things that you're creating. All right, friends, well, that's pretty much it. Again, my name is Matthew Sutton. I am Sketchbooks on Instagram. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe. And again, thank you to my patrons, without whom I could not be doing this. Thank you guys so much. You guys are really making things awesome for me. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.